Okay. The channel is The Anxious Woman. That's me, poet. I'm almost 66 years old in August. I'm a Leo. I will turn 66. I will finish my 66th rotation around the sun. I was born in 1959. I am 98.2 or 3% Irish. And the rest of me is Sephardic Jew. That's what my DNA showed. That's me. Welcome. I'm the anxious woman. I have had anxiety since my earliest memory, which is 5 years old. I am on disability and have been for a few years because of my anxiety and my panic attacks, and my agoraphobia and all the things and my complex post-traumatic stress disorder. So there you have it. I'm also on medication. I have a psychiatrist. I have a PCP. And I had a therapist until I couldn't quite afford the co-pays anymore, which is kind of crazy when you're on disability for a mental health thing and you need a therapist, but you can't afford the co-pay to the degree that you need to. Someone asked in one of my last videos about my coffee. I just went downstairs and made one real quick just to show. I use a metal straw. I actually got these at the Dollar Zone, not Dollar Tree, but Dollar Zone. 4 of them for $2 if you have a Dollar Zone. And I just grab now any glass. It doesn't even matter. But I found that when I put my coffee in a glass, it just feels fresher than in a plastic cup. And all I have in here is the French vanilla. It's actually the store brand. It's not Coffee Mate because they didn't have Coffee Mate. But for, French vanilla, and I have Cafe Mocha Coffee Mate. And I use the frother, which gives it that bubbly thing. There's ice. You can hear the ice in there. There's about 6 cubes. And then I just pour my coffee that I made from my Mr. Coffee. That's cold in the refrigerator. I keep it in the refrigerator. And that's that. And there's what you have. Mr. Squirrel's running across the street. For those of you who have been with me forever and you know about Mr. Squirrel decided to continue to come up on the deck and eat from the bird feeder. And a couple people said, like, you're never going to get rid of him. We went to Walmart and we bought a $3 water squirt gun. And he came up on the bird feeder and George squirted him with the squirt gun. He looked at George like George had 2 heads. And then he took off. And he didn't come back for 2 days. And he showed up again. And George grabbed the squirt gun. And before he could even get to the door, the squirrel took off. Mr. Squirrel took off. Now, before anybody comes at me, it's just water. And we feed the squirrel under the deck. We give him peanuts, unsalted peanuts, okay? So he's getting fed, and there's bird feeders down the way, like 6 of them. So Mr. Squirrel's eating, trust me. So we moved our bird feeder from off the deck because it was just making a mess. I mean, bird food was going in my plants, and it was just making a mess. So we got another shepherd's hook. We put it in the front of the house, in the mulch, and we put the bird feeder hanging from the shepherd's hook. So George says, Mr. Squirrel's not going to get up there. Well, he looked out the window yesterday and Mr. Squirrel was hanging upside down from the top of the bird feeder trying to reach the food, but he couldn't reach the food. So George goes and gets the squirt gun. Mr. Squirrel sees the squirt gun at the door and takes off. Okay. So then what George did, because I Googled it, is he took like a vegetable oil, put it on paper towel and greased the pole that goes at the shepherd's hook so that Mr. Squirrel cannot climb up the pole. He'll slide down, hopefully. We'll see. Anyway, Mr. Squirrel just ran across the street. I'm facing the window. I'm in the bedroom. I'm facing the window. So now that you got that little story, I just went downstairs to get I don't know if these are blueberry. These are either, yes, they are. blueberry muffins, and I put walnuts on top. Oh, no, they're not. These are the these are the funfetti, because you see the pink? These are the funfetti muffins. Ooh, I'm not eating both of them. That's probably why I weigh 105 now, because but I'm walking every day. I walked again today with George. Let's talk about something really, really important for us women and some men. I don't want to exclude the men, but I'm going to direct this more towards women because I've been in a situation. So I'm going to share something. And woman to woman, girl to girl, lady to lady. Don't ever let yourself be second when it comes to love. Now, at one point in my life, I fell crazy in love. And the person, and I'm not naming names, I'm not giving a time frame, that's not important. But the person said he loved me too. That he was crazy about me. That I was like all he ever thought about. But he also loved someone else. Now, there's something called polyamory. Polyamory, poly, more than one, amory, love, more than one love. And Sky and I used to talk about this all the time. Sky's my late partner. We would talk about polyamory. We talked about everything. So we talked about whether or not we believed that you could love more than one person. Like be in love with more than one person. I'm not saying like, you know, you love your kids one way, you love your husband, you love your partner, you love your dog, I'm talking like being in a relationship with more than one person. And, you know, loving, you know, this man, and they're different men. You love them in different ways, but you're in love with both of them. Okay, that's polyamory. Okay, that's not polygamy, where you're marrying a bunch of people or doing these ceremonies, but polyamory. Okay, so we used to talk about that. So, so I fell in love. Remember that song, I Fooled Around and Fell in Love? I must have been through about 1 million girls. Who made that song? I'd love them and I'd leave them alone. Then I fooled around and fell in love. Remember that song? It was from back in the 70s. I'm getting so off topic. But George and I were sitting on the deck yesterday, and I have a 3-month free trial for Apple Music. And we were listening to all of these songs from the 70s. And that song was one of them. And I played like 20 or 30 seconds of a whole bunch of different songs to see if he could remember the name of the song, any of the lyrics, and who made it, right? Remember that one, I believe in miracles, where are you from, you sexy thing? But I know, I can't sing. That's not my career. Hot Chocolate made that song. So what was I talking about? Oh, okay. So I fell in love, and it just so happened that the person that I fell in love with said he loved me, but he also loved somebody else. And as time went on, and it was not a deeply sexual relationship. I'll just say that. And with the situation between myself and him, this man, okay? So the time frame with me and this man with this other woman were almost equal, but not quite. he was in love with this other woman a couple years more longer or than me. There's no marriages involved, so it's not like that, okay? So then here's what happens when you get yourself into that kind of situation. And I know that I'm not the only one that got myself in that kind of situation. I know it. That's what happens then is you find yourself being second in everything. Because even though he loved me less. So the other one was like a 5-star rating and I was like a 3-star rating. Maybe I was 3.5 on a good day when I had my hair washed and my makeup on. And I knew that no matter what, nothing was going to change. Like, you know it in here, you know? And even though I wasn't really the other woman, I felt like I was the other woman. Some people in the comments will say, well, if you felt like you were the other woman, you were the other woman. As time went on, I believe his feelings for me were real. I do believe that. But not real enough. Does that make sense? It's like, I guess it's kind of like you spend your holidays alone because he's with the other person. You spend like your birthday alone and you get like the day after or the day before. Now people would say, well, it sounds like, you know, it was a marriage thing. He's not married. He's not married. Okay. I don't believe he still isn't married. And this was a while ago. This was a while ago. I'm just saying, women, know your value. Like, know your value. There's a girl on TikTok. If anybody follows TikTok, I just love it most of the time. And there's a girl on TikTok. She has the long nails and she's doing her makeup and she's saying like, listen, if you take on that man and you bring him back in your life after he did you wrong, love you. What is wrong with you? I love her. I love her. She's so out there. I just, you know, sometimes we get into these situations that they don't feel wrong at the time. You know, they you don't see it for what it is at the time. You see it for what you want to see it to be. You see it for what you want to see it to be. And then, you know, like your heart tells you, your soul, your body, your mind, like our bodies are amazing things. Like, trust your body, trust your gut. You know that old saying, like, what's it feel like in your gut? You got all the butterflies and everything centers in your gut. You get real nervous, you get pains in your stomach, like everything centers in your gut, right? Our bodies know us. Our hearts know us. Our brain, like we know instinctively what is going on. It's a matter of whether or not we're going to face it and accept it. And the hardest thing is walking away from something because we want to hope that something's going to change, something's going to be different. This other person is going to all of a sudden love us more than the other person. And then where's our value? You know, like we're here and she's over here like this. And it's, I mean, it's obvious. It's as plain as the nose on your face. And yet we don't see it because it's too hard to see, you know, because then there has to be acceptance. Like once you see something and you say it out loud, then there's acceptance. And then it's like, oh, there's where the problem comes in. That's the hard part, the acceptance part. With everything in life, all the life changes, everything that you have to change. When there's a death, when you lose a job, when you have to move, when one of your kids won't talk to you or 4 of them won't talk to you because somebody's mad about this and somebody's mad about that, there's acceptance. But I don't know why. I don't know why it's so hard for us to not value ourselves to the depth that we deserve to value ourselves. And I don't know if it's fear, if it's just plain out, like we're just afraid to let go. I think over the time, was I so afraid to let go for fear of being alone? And what do I think is going to happen if I was alone? Do I think I would always be alone? Because I've been alone. I was alone for 6 months after Sky passed away. I was alone in my 20s. I was involved with somebody that was just, he was just trash. I can't say anything nice. He was just trash. But I couldn't see that to save my soul. I couldn't see that. And if you watch the movie Lucky that I keep telling you guys to watch with Harry Dean Stanton, I keep saying, watch the movie Lucky. Watch the movie Lucky. Lucky is having a discussion with Paulie in the bar, in Elaine's bar. And Paulie is saying, like, we all need friendship. It's good for the soul. And Lucky says, there's no such thing. And Paulie says, of what? Like, of what? Friendship? There's no such thing as friendship? And Lucky says, no, the soul. There's no such thing as the soul. There comes a time where you have to walk away to preserve some dignity, you know? And just to acknowledge, like, okay, if it sits well with you to put me here and someone else there, and you can sleep at night, okay, then we need to move on with our lives. And I've been in that situation. And I'm just saying, for anybody who's watching, have you ever been in that situation? And even in everyday life, if you feel like you're here and something else takes precedence up here, and how does that feel as far as valuing yourself? Like, what do you feel? Where are you emotionally when stuff like that happens? I look over relationships that I've had, and I've had a lot of them. There would be people who would not talk about the things I talk about because it doesn't always put me in a good light. But I was not one of those women that got married and stayed married for 50 years. No, I didn't. Did I want to? Yes. Yeah. But by the time I got to a place where I met someone really, really sweet and really decent and really kind, and it should have been 50 years, I was already so broken and so messed up and so emotionally ripped apart and so discombobulated and not even knowing which end was up, that I couldn't have made that situation work for 50 years or even more than 10 years. And that's really sad. But here's the thing now. I'm in a marriage. We've been together, we're in our 10th month. I know. I'm saying that like it's been 10 years. We're in our 10th month. And we've been married 4 months and 12 days. 4 months and 12 days. So we're in our 5th month of marriage. Now at almost 66 and he's in his 70th year, we know, we're very aware of the fact that time-wise, we've lived longer than we're going to live. We're very aware of that. And so a whole lot of talking goes on in this household. We both have been married multiple times before. I've been married multiple times. He's been married multiple times. So people could say, rightfully so, it's not going to last. If somebody can't hold on to someone 1 or 2 times, like, how is this going to last? Well, we're old. And we're getting older. And we're married. There's a legal tie, and we got a house. Now, has he been married before and had a house? Yes. Have I? Yes. Did that stop a divorce? No. Do I have the energy for a divorce? We're going through all that? No. Does he? No. No. And so when you get this old, things are different. Everything's different. You look at life different. You look at the trees different, the sun, the sky. You look at going to the grocery store as almost like you've been to an amusement park. You see something on sale and you get excited. You collect all your reward points for the stores you go into and you see whether or not you have a savings. Did you get $2 off? Did you scan your app? You know, it's those kind of things now. I hope that for my lady friends and my men friends that have been in long-term relationships, that they have been good and that your partner knew your value and that you feel good about the relationship you were in or are in if your partner is still with you. Because what I have gone through, especially with this one particular person that I'm referencing, that was a lot of pain and suffering. And it's my own fault. It's like, why would anybody stay? You always hope for change. It's going to be different in 6 months or a week or a year, you know, it's going to be different. And then it never is. So know your worth, know your value, because we deserve goodness and respect. And if we're giving it, we should be getting it back. You know, so I try really hard in my relationship here to open up communication because everything moved quickly. I've said in like every video, I didn't pick this house. I didn't pick this house. I didn't know this was a HOA community, nor did he. After, you know, we started digging around, we realized it was an HOA. Our realtor's like, this, it's an HOA. And here's the thing. Most people don't follow any of the rules in here anyway. This section of our HOA, this whole section, we all have green doors. The other 2 sections have red doors. I would prefer a red door. However, we have green doors. Now, the house, a couple of houses down, because we're all matchy-matchy. Like the HOA has sent us paperwork saying, here's the green you need. You go to Lowe's with these numbers and they will mix the matchy-matchy green so that we're all the same. The doors are all the same so that we can confuse the Amazon drivers, right? The doors will all be the same. The shutters are all the same. They match the door. Yep. Matchy-matchy. However, couple houses down, there's a family that has a green door, but it's not matchy-matchy. They bucked the system. I just want to go down there and hug them. It's green, but it's not that color green. It's like a off, it's not lime. It's like they took a couple of shades of yellow and added it to the green. So it's kind of like a really light colored olive. And I just love them. Every time we pull in and I look at that door, I'm like, you go. You and your different door. I'm so proud of you. Now, George is a matchy-matchy kind of person. He wants to follow the rules. However, we have made the decision, and this has nothing to do with, well, yes, it does value. We have all these interior doors. Every house has all these interior doors, right? Your bedroom doors, your bathroom doors, your pantry doors. All the doors that are in this house are the primer doors, the doors that just have the coat of primer on. None of them have been painted. They're all primered. So I Googled unique door colors in a house. So what we're going to do is we're going to paint the doors, the interior doors. Some of them downstairs, I believe we're going to do the green that's on the outside. Yes, I know, but it will tie in with the wall, and it will tie in with the rug, and it will tie in with the kitchen cabinets, but it will still give a whole different feel, I think. And then the doors up here, we're going to do the color Patience, which is like a pinkish lavender is what it says on the back of the card, which may or may not work with the colors up here, but I think it will. I think it all depends on what you do around the door, you know, and what you add to. I don't know how I got on that topic, but you know me. So I'm going to go. So just know your value and know your worth, and please don't be second. No matter how wonderful the man is, how kind his words are, and how sincere he may be feeling, you're still second. And second in that kind of thing is not good. It's okay to be second in line at the grocery store. You can manage that. It's okay to be second in line at the red light. That's okay. You could be second. You could be second at the dressing room when you're waiting to try something on. You could be second. I can sit here and look out the window and watch all my neighbors. He's going to throw his trash away. People drive up. They live down there. They drive up as they're leaving somewhere and they put their trash in. Just sharing something with you. So there are times in life when it's okay to be second. Sometimes it actually pays off to be second. And yeah, so I'm going to go. Think about it. If you've ever had a situation in your life where you felt like you were second in a relationship, and if you care to share in the comments, because a lot of my topics are like kind of delicate and people like, oh, like I don't want to talk about that out in public. I do, because I think some things are important to say out loud. And I think the more we talk about things out loud, the more people will talk about things out loud. And I think it becomes less and less taboo and more and easier, to put things out on the table. So I'm going to go. Namaste. Tomorrow is what? May 28th. I'm going to go off here. I'm going to go to Messenger, and I'm going to leave Sky a little message over on his page. And for my friend Dee, I saw your picture on Facebook. I love it. It just made me so happy. So happy. Take care of yourselves. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know what's happening. How was your New Year's? New Year's. I wasn't drinking, I swear. How was your Memorial Day? I'm guessing the pools opened I'll have to do some Googling and see when the school's let out. And I'm guessing the pool's open. I want to check on a local amusement park and see when, I'm sure that's open now, and check hours and a couple other things. I really want to go bowling. And we watched a movie last night called Nona or Nona's. Somebody said in the comments, I think, said something about Nona. Somebody somewhere said something to me about Nona, watching Nona, the movie with the Italian grandmothers cooking. We watched it last night. It was the best movie ever. Well, Lucky's the best movie ever, but if you can catch Nona, watch it. It's so good. And if you're into like stuff like Fear Factor, we've been binging Fear Factor. George never saw it before, but I've been watching it with him. And yeah, so namaste, take care. Let me know what's going on in your lives, and I'll talk to you soon.